All right, good afternoon, traders. Today is April 8th, 2026. My name Coach Carignan. I'm the lead instructor here at BYOB Trading Room. Thank you for being here. How I captured 3,100 with a 33K account today. Let's take a peek at the markets. Let's move this off to the side. I'm just going to turn the trading off for a minute. Okay, so this morning, I was looking at these highs and the overnight price action, and I thought there would be some profit taking, okay, right here in the morning. So my strategy was, see if I can find it. I got it here somewhere. So my strategy was right here. Plan to buy a 1 DTE call spread. I will close out the short strike when I'm looking for a bull flag to form. When I suspect a bull flag is formed, I was looking for it to kind of be right around 673, which is the all-time high anchored VWAP. So I'm looking for that flag to kind of use that as the bottom of the flag, maybe even spike it a little bit, which to capture profits, and on the return to the top of the bull flag, which I expect to form today as well. The process may take all day, and it did. It did take all day. And then I wrote this up. I suspect a bull flag to form over 673. I'm going to wait, pick off the bottom of the flag, trading price back up to the top of the bull flag, which I suspect to form over 673. Same thing again. I will likely use the 5-minute chart to perform this action because you never know when they're going to use big candles. And I wanted to see the turn in the 5-minute chart. And sometimes you can't see it on the 10. So I wanted to use a 5-minute chart so that I could observe the turn, all right, in real time. So that's what I had planned this morning. And we bought 1 DT call spread. Sold the short strike down here for money, doubled down, took the profits there, put them into the long strike, and rode the long strike up as a directional call up to the top up here, took profit up there. Okay, then I was looking for price to kind of continue higher, but they hit VWAP, and you can see they double topped right here. So after the double top, I said, and FOMC came out at the same time. And I guess some other news came out about Iran, I guess, rejecting the ceasefire. So all of it in combined, along with the double top, gave us this big red candle. And you can see where price action came down here. Okay, all the way back down. And I suspected it'd make a higher low. Then I read some more news about the ceasefire. Kind of thought, at the end of the day, price would roll over and come all the way down here, breaking this tail. It did not. Instead, it's melting up. Not sure what's happening there. I guess they're really kind of committed to the bull flag, forgetting the ceasefire rejection news. So I'm not real, I'm not real crazy about them rejecting the ceasefire news because that's going to cost a lot for them and for us. So I don't understand why this is rallying, but then again, let them do what they want to do here. Again, until they break out, I'm just going to be kind of bearish, but I'll wait for the flag to play out here. So we're in the middle of a bull flag, and you can see there's the top. There's the bottom. Normally, I trade my bull flags from the bottom up to the top, from the bottom up to the top. But after seeing the ceasefire, I guess I got duped because price wants to continue going higher. So we'll see what happens. So there's SPY on the 5-minute chart. You can see the turn was pretty easy to picture. Right here, you can see the air between the 3 EMA and the 8 EMA here. And then you can see it pinch off after this tail, and then you see it cross up. You can trade that. I traded this uptrend all the way back up to the highs. I was looking for 678 based on The gamma exposure right there, and the call, there was a call wall as well. And we never even got close. We just couldn't even break into 677. Not sure what that's about. But here we are again, coming back up to this area. So into the close, I'm going to put the 10-minute chart. Where I'm just going to call this big bull flag, but you can see we got the beginning of a 10-minute uptrend with the 3 EMA and the sticks plotting over a rising 8. All right, up here. They haven't broken the rubber band candle, which is now forming right here. So we'll see what happens. That's this 10-minute chart. So this is SPY. You can see right now 10-minute uptrend coming in the close. 2 hours going to be probably going to be bullish. Yeah, you can see the 3 and the sticks plotting up over the 8. You got air between the 3 EMA and the 8 EMA. So you got 2-hour uptrend coming into the close. You got 10-minute uptrend coming into the close. On the daily candle, we've got for SPY a higher low and a higher high. We're closing over a bullish trap and over the hooking 17 EMA, closing over this pink line. That's the all-time high anchored VWAP. You can see we're right into resistance, okay? You can see where price comes down here and then rallies back up. See this next valley reverse right here. Next valley reverses right here. Next valley reverses right here. I'm on the daily chart, and each time it goes up there. So you can see right now price is, I was looking for price to kind of consolidate right here in this channel as it grinds away at the overhead supply, because this was once support. So now it should become resistance, as you can see by the look of the doji candle right there. So there's buying the daily chart. We have not made higher highs. So we're still on the quad lines here. We're still bullish, all right? But we're still in a downtrend, even though we're up over this all-time high anchored VWAP. So in the middle of quadrant 4, so that's going to be bullish, still in a downtrend. Weekly chart, still bullish, still in a downtrend, made a lower low. Monthly chart, bullish and still in an uptrend. We have not made lower lows on the monthly charts. Take a look at QQQ. Start on the 10-minute. Back here on the 10, you can see into the close. We've got a very weak 2-candle uptrend right here. This one's under VWAP, while the other one was over VWAP on SPY. So 2-candle uptrend. Took it the 10-minute 2-hour chart. 2-hour, we got right here, you can see the candlesticks and the 3 plotting up over the rising 8. So we got air, or you can see daylight between the 3 EMA and the 8 EMA up here. So you got 2-hour uptrend coming into the close. Daily chart, higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish trap over the hooking 17 EMA. I'm going to pan way out. All right, so back here, this is the origin of our move. And you can see price comes up and over to the right here. So we're in the middle of quadrant 4. We have not made higher. Well, there's a high right here. So not a real convincing high, but there's a high right there. And that does shoot up through the 17. You got 2 or 3 candles here, so I guess you could call that a high because there's a valley to go with that high. So this is now in an uptrend, QQQ. Now in an uptrend because it made a higher high right there. All right, so you got a valley low. You got a little valley right here. So this is bullish, and now it's in an uptrend, and we're closing over the all-time high anchored VWAP. Who knows? We'll see what happens this week if the bulls have some more follow-through with this. But that's QQQ on the daily chart, bullish and in an uptrend. Weekly chart, much the same as SPY. There's the origin of the move, up and over. And you can see on QQQ, we made a low right here and we made a lower low, so that makes us in a downtrend. So that is QQQ bullish. You're in the middle of quadrant 4. That's bullish. In a downtrend because you have not made any higher highs. So let's see with the high here. No, they have not taken out that high yet. So bullish and in an uptrend, QQQ. Let's take a look at SPY one more time. See if they broke any of these highs over here. No, they did not. Okay, let's take a look at Diamond Dow. All right, Diamond Dow, higher low, higher high, closing over bullish trap, closing over flat 17, closing over all-time high anchored VWAP, closing in the bottom of quadrant 4. So that's bullish, still in a downtrend on Diamond Dow. Let's take a look at IWM. IWM is, yep, higher low, higher high, closing over bullish cross, closing over all-time high anchored VWAP, that's pink line, closing up in the middle of quadrant 4. That's going to be bullish, all right? And they have not made any higher highs, not yet. So that's bullish and in an uptrend on IWM. Let's take a look at Stinker. Stinker, higher low, higher high, closing over a bearish trap, under the falling 17, that's a red dot, under that pink line, that's the all-time high anchored VWAP. All right, so that makes us bearish. No, yeah, neutral, because we're not in the lower third, we're not in the upper third. Neutral, but in a downtrend because we haven't made any higher highs yet. So there's FNGU. Want to back way out. This is the all-time low. This is the all-time high. You can see we're right in the middle here of each of them, of either one. All right, so you can see here's the midpoint. We're kind of on the bearish side of the midpoint. And we spent some time down here closing candles in the lower third. So we were bearish at once. Now we've climbed out of the bearish territory or the bearish box. And now we're kind of hanging out up here in the neutral zone. So that's just neutral and still in a downtrend. Let's take a look at silver and gold. So here's silver. Silver is, I'm just going to call it a higher. The low, 63.02. The low, 63.20. Higher high, higher low, closing inside of a bearish trap, closing all right, so there's silver. Neutral, still in a downtrend. So we got higher low, higher high, closing inside a bearish trap, under the flat 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP. Neutral and still in a downtrend. We haven't made any higher highs. Take a look at gold. Gold, higher low, higher high, closing inside a bullish trap. It's got a bearish trap, over the flat 17, under the all-time high anchored VWAP, bottom of quadrant 4, that's bullish and still in a downtrend. They have not made any higher highs. Take a look at USO. Okay, USO makes a new all-time high right here, not an all-time high, new 10-year high, okay, on USO. I'm on the weekly chart. I meant to be on the daily chart. All right, USO, lower high, lower low, closing under bullish trap, but over the rising 17, bottom of quadrant 4. That's still bullish, still in an uptrend. Let's go back and visit silver and gold. Okay, so silver, higher low, higher high, closing over bullish trap, closing under the falling 17 EMA. They are on the neutral zone right now for silver. They have made a higher high. There's a high, came back, made a valley low, went back up, made a high. It's not a very big valley, but it is a double bottom valley there. So that is a uptrend, so neutral, but in an uptrend on silver. Let's take a look at gold one more time because I think I was on the weekly. Gold, higher low, higher high, closing over a bullish trap, closing over flat 17 EMA. So that's going to be bullish because gold is in the upper quadrant up here. Remember, here's the origin back here in 2020, 22. And this is all-time high right up there. Pink line is all-time high anchored VWAP. So you can see price action trying to reach for that all-time high anchored VWAP. We're under that all-time high anchored VWAP. We're at the bottom of quadrant 4. So we're bullish right here on GLD, but still in a downtrend for GLD. So let's take a look at, we did USO with the 13-year high. Let's try it one more time because I don't think we were on the daily. Yeah, USO, lower high, lower low, closing under a bullish trap, but over the rising 17 at the bottom of quadrant 4. That's bearish and still in a downtrend on USO. Let's take a look at UNG. All right, UNG is... let's make sure we got lower high, lower low, closing under a bearish trap, closing under the falling 17, closing under the 12-month high anchored VWAP. Down here, this is the all-time low. We're in the bottom lower third, so this is bearish in the middle of quadrant 1. So that's bearish, still in a downtrend on UNG daily chart. Let's take a look at technicals, T2101. And the market moved up and we had increased participation. That's a bullish sign, so I like that. It's a 15-minute chart, T2101. T2122, we spent the day in the overbought zone. That is bullish, all right? Spending the day up here over the midpoint. Look at this. Since the beginning of the month, that would be April 1st, right here, we've spent a lot of time up here in the upper half of the T2122. So overbought zone way up here. Not to say that it can't stay in the overbought zone for a couple of weeks, all right? But price action looking good for T2122, T2101, T2123. Gap up, bears don't fill the gap. That's a bullish clue right there. Price action is still in an uptrend. All right, it'll be a while before we make some downtrends. So still in an uptrend. And let's take a look at price over here. We've got price over falling 200 SMA. That's where I want to be if I'm a bull. Nice looking candle there. I just hope that's not exhaustion. This is the all-time high. If I slap some quad lines in there, you'll see we're still down here in quadrant 1. So on the 15-minute chart, we're bearish, all right, but still in an uptrend right there for T2123. Let's take a look at same chart, but on the three bar chart. And if we back out, you can see right here, this is the all-time high, prior all-time high right here. That's for 2022, and then silver would be in 2024. You can see price goes up. There's the origin of the move, April. It would go up here, making new all-time high. And then we have a pullback, make another new all-time high. So we got a new all-time high for 2025. And then a brand new all-time high in 2025. And then another brand new all-time high for 2026. All right, so price action for T2123, 3-bar chart. Here's a high. Okay, we have not made any trends yet. You can see clearly this nobody. All right, so there's T2123. Up here, quadrant 4, that's bullish. Not liking this being under the 200 SMA, but we are acting bullish. We're not. We're melting up, and if not moving up. Nice gap up there for the bulls. All right. Notice the bears couldn't fill the gap on that. T2123, uptrend and bullish on the 3-bar chart for downtrend and bullish for the T2123 3-bar chart. Reason why we're in the downtrend: we made lower lows. We've yet to make a higher high, so we're still bullish, but we have not made any higher highs. So we're still in that downtrend. Let's take a look at Stinker on the 15. Bullish gap up again. Nice gap up. I think all the indexes had a nice gap up. Anyways, here's FNGU. Price action for FNGU is all right. Let's take a look at. All right, we did FNGU. Let's take a look at what we traded today. All right. Remember, all right. Today's strategy was a little bit different than what I normally trade, which is directional calls and puts. All right. Today I did a spread, and I explained it to the participants early this morning that I would be selling the short strike as price came down to produce the bottom threads in the bull flag, which I suspected to form. So here's a 10-minute chart. You can see price goes up and then over to the right. So taking profits. So on the short strike came into money, took profit on the short strike. Short strike happened to be this 679 call right there, and the long strike happened to be the 678 call right there. As you can see with both strikes, all right, this one made money. I took the profits from this one right here that I sold short, and I rolled them into the long strike right here, the 678, to capture profits for the way back up there, and we took profit up there. So there was that was the call spread for us today. Now, last minute, I bought puts. They said Iran rejected the ceasefire, so I was kind of expecting price to come down. It did not, so sometimes the news works for you, sometimes it doesn't. We'll see. Tomorrow we got GDP coming out at 8:30 in the morning. That will be a volatility will be wrapped around some of that GDP. That will help define whether retail's doing good, selling goods and services overseas. And when we look at GDP, we're going to be looking for, we would suspect that there's going to be higher revenue being brought in if GDP is looking good. All right, so we'll find out what happens to that early tomorrow morning. All right, so that's it. That's at 8:30 tomorrow morning. I'll be showing up at 8 o'clock in the morning. So that's it for me, traders. I think I got everything. Remember I said I trade a call spread. Then I bought these puts. Okay, these puts never got the breakdown, so I had to exit those with a small profit. And then I got these puts right here. I bought those for tomorrow, and actually for the overnight. I was looking for price to break down overnight, so I got some puts for that right there. And this is a call spread that I'm going to leave on. That was another call spread that I was using, and of course I took profit on the long strikes as price went up on the call spread. Price went up, so I had a couple extra calls, so I sold those couple extra calls I had in the long strike right here for some profits. And then I tried to back out of one of the ones that I was short. Took a little bit of a hit on that. That was like minus 895 or 835. I can't see it right there. All right, so that's it. Other than that, I was looking for calls to trade into the closing hour, but you can see we didn't get much price action. So here's 675 calls. And, of course, I don't have the trading on, so it's not going to show up. All right, so you can see right here, trading the calls back up. So bought, sold, sold, bought, and then sold up here. Okay, so the object was to buy low and sell high. All right, we got that 10-minute uptrend that looked like I saw this tail right here. So I'm looking at this for price to run all the way back up to the top line, which was be right about up here, right about 676.83 area right there. All right, so that's that one. USO calls, captured 221 on those. All right, got some other USO calls right here, 23 DTEs, and I could probably capture some money on those. You can see that USO is trying to rally back up to these highs, back up there. The puts, again, I have these puts for the overnight session right there, and then I've got a call spread right here. This would be my long strike, 660, and the short strike, 662. All right, so for the 662, the moment we came in, we opened up this morning, price began to sell off. So rather than participate in the sell-off, well, actually I did. I kind of joined them with the sell-off, and I purchased a one of those sub-zero market right there.